Why be ordinary when you can be flamboyant? Wancheka Radio. Be flamboyant.
Good evening, and here are the major stories for today. The order by the Lagos State government to remove all heavy-duty trucks and tankers parked along the Oshodi-Apapa Expressway has been extended by 48 hours. Commissioner for Transportation Ladi Lawansin made the disclosure at a media briefing this Monday after monitoring the progress of the exercise. He explained that Governor Akinwumi Ambode directed the extension due to the progress recorded so far. Lawansin also expressed satisfaction with the progress of work done by a combined team of task force officials in the Operation Restore Sanity on Lagos roads, which lasted 72 hours from Friday to Sunday, resulting in the free flow of traffic from Toyota bus stop to Mile 2. The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshiomhole, has threatened to expel the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, from the party. The relationship between Ngige and Oshiomhole have been strained over the refusal of the minister to inaugurate boards of parastatals under his ministry several months after they were appointed by President Muhammadu Buhari. Addressing State House correspondents today, Oshiomhole said the party will suspend Ngige if he refuses to inaugurate the boards, stressing that he would not condone disrespect for the party if the president condones disrespect for his office. Oshiomhole expressed his grievance after Ngige replied a letter by the party asking him to inaugurate all board members appointed under his ministry. Ngige had in the letter insisted that he had inaugurated 3 boards in the ministry but would not be in a hurry to inaugurate that of the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund due to an alleged 40 billion naira corruption scandal by the former board. Reports say 8 people were today killed at a mosque in Mainari area of Konduga in Borno State after a suicide bomber detonated his explosives. Sources say the male bomber, disguised as a worshipper, walked into the mosque at about 5:15 a.m. during prayer and detonated his device, killing 8 worshippers and injuring 5 others. The latest attack comes as the federal government is encouraging people displaced by Boko Haram to return home, and as aid agencies across the conflict-ravaged region have warned that security has yet to improve in the area. And Consul General of Nigeria in South Africa, Godwin Adama, has revealed that there are about 5,000 Nigerian medical practitioners working in various teaching, public and private hospitals in South Africa. The Vice Consul, Information and Culture, David Abraham, said in a statement issued in Abuja today that Adama made the disclosure when Nigerian Doctors Forum, South Africa, led by its Secretary General Emeka Ogu, visited him in Johannesburg. The Consul General believes the figures point to the fact that virtually every hospital in South Africa has a sizable number of Nigerian doctors who are constantly adding value to the system, and this cannot be overemphasized. In international news, South Sudan today reiterated its commitment to the ongoing peace talks in Khartoum, dispelling fresh doubts and fears by the United States that President Salva Kiir and rebel leader Riek Machar lack requisite leadership needed to bring peace. Marwan Arik, Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesman, said Kiir has already demonstrated commitment and leadership at the peace talks mediated by the Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir. Arik's comment comes after the Donald Trump administration, in a statement on Sunday, expressed deep concerns and doubt over the 2 warring leaders reaching peace in Khartoum, in addition to the talks lacking inclusivity. President Trump has in the meantime said he will agree to the outcome of the peace talks. Authorities in China have ordered an investigation into a vaccination scandal as panic grows over product safety. Last week, vaccine maker Changcheng Biotechnology Company was found to have falsified production data for its rabies vaccine. The firm has been ordered to halt production and recall rabies vaccines. There has been no evidence of harm from the vaccine, but the scandal has sparked a huge outcry in China. Changcheng, which suspended trading its shares for part of today, saw its value drop by 10%. The shares have slumped 47% since mid-July, when news of the scandal first broke. US President Donald Trump and Iranian President Hassan Rouhani have traded hostile warnings amid rising tensions between the 2 countries. President Trump in a tweet said Iran would suffer consequences of the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before if it threatened the United States. President Rouhani earlier said that war with Iran would be the mother of all wars. In May, the US left a deal which curbed Iran's nuclear activities in return for the lifting of international sanctions. Washington is now reimposing the sanctions that despite objections from the UK, France, China, Russia and Germany, who all signed the 2015 agreement. And the United Kingdom would not impose the use of the death penalty if 2 alleged Islamic State members were extradited to the US, the Home Secretary has said. In a letter leaked to the Telegraph, Sajid Javid said he would seek no assurances before the sentences. Alexander Kote and El Shafi El Sheikh from West London were captured in Syria in January. Labour is accusing the UK government of unilaterally abandoning its opposition to the death penalty. Analysts say for years, Britain has sought assurances from foreign governments that the death penalty would not be used in cases where the UK provided information or extradited suspects. In business, transactions on the Nigerian Stock Exchange resumed this Monday with a growth of 0.3% after Dangote Cement recorded some gains. Dangote topped the gainers chart after investors responded positively to the release of its 6-month unaudited result for the period ended June 30. Consequently, the all-share index improved by 108.52 points to close at 36,711.96, compared with 36,603.44 achieved on Friday, just as the market capitalization, which opened at 13.259 trillion naira, increased by 39 billion naira to close at 13.298 trillion naira. In all, the volume of shares transacted dropped by 66.72%, while value declined by 43.33%. And the Fisheries Society of Nigeria has predicted that the value of the country's agricultural sector is estimated to reach about $256 million. That's about over 91 trillion naira by 2050. First Vice President of the Society, Bola Adekoya, stated this at an agricultural value chain stakeholders capacity development workshop in Lagos this Monday. Adekoya said the projection was good enough to attract more competent hands, especially the youth, into the sector to stimulate economic growth and the well-being of the populace. According to him, the sector growth figure was 10 times bigger than the 2018 budget put at 9.12 trillion naira, and that the populace is expected to be 250 million by 2050. In entertainment, The Equalizer 2, the follow-up to the 2014 original, has overtaken Mamma Mia! Here We Go Again to claim the top spot at the US box office. The action sequel took an estimated $35.8 million, inching past Mamma Mia's $34.4 million. Figures show that at least 8 of the top 10 films over the weekend were follow-ups, confirming the summer truly is sequel season for cinema. Hotel Transylvania 3, which earned $23.2 million, Ant-Man and the Wasp with $16.1 million, and Incredibles 2 with $11.5 million rounded up the top 5. And the first known studio recording of David Bowie is set for auction after being found in an old bread basket. The 1963 demo tape rejected by Decca features a 16-year-old Bowie, then known as David Jones, singing I Never Dreamed with first band The Conrads. The tape, expected to fetch £10,000, is being sold by the band's drummer, David Hadfield, who uncovered it in his loft. Auctioneer Paul Fairweather has described the tape as a significant recording, completely unique. The Brixton star died of cancer in January of 2016, 2 days after the release on his 69th birthday of his 25th studio album, Black Star. The collection is set to go under the hammer at Omega Auctions in Newton Lee Willows in September. And in sports, Parma striker Emmanuel Kalayo has been banned for 2 years for match fixing. Parma has also been deducted 5 points for the 2018-2019 Serie A season, and Kalayo, who is 36, has been fined €20,000. Italy's National Federal Court imposed the sanctions after Kalayo sent suspicious messages to some of his former teammates before Spezia played Parma on May 18. Parma won the game 2-0 to secure promotion back to Italy's top flight. Kalayo, who left Spezia to join Parma in 2016, contacted Spezia players Filippo De Col and Claudio Terzi before the game via messaging service WhatsApp. Prosecutors began investigating in June, and Parma denied any wrongdoing, saying the messages, quote, don't contain any sort of irregularity or malice, end of quote. But the player was charged with match fixing in July when the FA passed the case to the TFN, and the messages were deemed to influence the game by eliciting a reduced effort from De Col and Terzi. And Germany's Football Association has emphatically rejected allegations of racism from Arsenal's Mesut Ozil, but says it could have done more to protect him from abuse. Ozil, who is 29, announced his retirement from international football, citing racism and disrespect within German football. The midfielder says he received hate mail and threats and was blamed for Germany's disappointing World Cup. A Germany Football Association statement said it regrets the departure of Ozil from the national team, but stressed its commitment to equality, saying the association stands for diversity from the representatives at the top to the boundless, day-to-day dedication of people at the base. Those are the major stories for today. I am Binta Bhadmus.
Why be ordinary when you can be flamboyant? One Shaka Radio. Be flamboyant.